They wanted to make music with more than a superficial message. In the indie rock scene, they went for the low-key look when performing. That's how Tocotronic started out in the early 1990s. A somewhat intellectual group, they developed a large and loyal following, and it wasn't long before the band emerged from the music underground. And this is Tocotronic in 2013. Everyone in the band is now over 40, but they're still doing what they've always loved best, making music. It's why they dropped out of university 20 years ago.
We started when we were 22. At that age, most people don't spend much time thinking about what they'll be doing when they're 42.
I guess I imagined myself sitting in a wood-paneled lawyer's office 20 years down the line, but that obviously didn't last long.
Tocotronic's new single, Auf dem Pfad der Dämmerung. The video portrays a day in the life of a teenage vampire slayer. The whole album focuses more on corporal than spiritual topics.
Artists are always being asked to divulge a deeper meaning, to reveal what moves them, plumb the depths of their souls. But that stuff doesn't really interest me much. I'm much more interested in the physical world.
Okay, wir laufen.
June 2012, working on the new album at Candy Bomber Studios in Berlin. Tocotronic got the sound they wanted for the 17 new songs with the help of a vintage 1958 4-track tape recorder. They wanted it to be pure and organic. They'd become much better musicians than they were back in the early days.
It's no secret that when we started out, not much emphasis was placed on musical ability. Things are a lot different today. Now people won't even record a single note before busting their butts at a pop academy for 4 years.
They didn't even have those in our day.
Unfortunately.
This is how Tocotronic sounded when they started out. Their first video, Wir sind hier nicht in Seattle, Dirk, was released in 1995. The band took the name Tocotronic from a Japanese game console.
When we cut the first record back then, it was such a surprise that we were allowed to make it, that you could just record and release albums at all. We just sort of slipped into it. But I'm like a lot of people who were young back then. I can't really remember much about the 90s.
Hier ist die Nummer 1, hier ist Top of the Pops.
Tocotronic has enjoyed commercial success since the late 1990s. Their studio albums have regularly found their way into the German top 10. So it's hard not to keep falling back on the same winning musical formula.
You really have to resist the urge to take the easy route. A lot of bands operate under the premise, if it worked 5 years ago, it'll probably still succeed today.
With their new album, Wie wir leben wollen, the band has decided to tread new, less familiar ground. Today, their music is a little more accessible. They call it power pop. But one thing has stayed the same. Tocotronic's lyrics are still more cerebral than your average mainstream song.